Hey, how's it going, everyone? As promised, I wanted to get a video out to you on how to properly break down a chicken into all the different cuts that you can use for yourself or your family. I like to buy these whole like this because one, it's a lot more fresh, and two, I can control how I want the cuts, and I don't have to worry about the additional processes that it took to give me an entire bag of breast or an entire bag of tenderloins or an entire bag of thighs or drums or however you purchase yours. The birds and the meat that go into our stores, they go through a process called irradiation. So that kills off some of the vital vitamins and nutrients that are in here. One of them including up to 90% of the vitamin A that is contained within inside of chicken. So while you're buying healthy, you're buying organic, and this is a store-bought chicken, that's the process that they go through, and it is found to have killed off a bunch of that stuff. So for us here on the homestead, we're currently working on getting fertile eggs from our roosters and hens so that we can incubate them, start raising our own meat birds. That will be all natural, non-GMO, and we can control that process from birth all the way through to the butchering process. And we will have healthy chickens that we know exactly where they come from and what it took to get them onto the plate. For me here for this video, I've already set up a lot of things. So what this is my little cut bin. I'll take the gizzards from the bag. Obviously, once it's a homestead chicken, they won't be in a bag, but I'll put all of my cuts as I go through the bird, and I'll put them in here so that I leave this space open and available to me. It is recommended that you have a pan, a deep well pan or something that can contain the juices, and then you just put your cutting board inside of there. I like to use this little fillet knife here. You can use a chef's knife if you like. I find this one to just be a little bit easier to manipulate. I also pre-stage a bunch of different paper towels so that I can clean my hands and pat the bird dry. Whenever you're doing this, you don't want to wash your bird because all the blood and the juices and liquid can splash around your kitchen, and that's just a possibility for contamination. So I've already patted this bird dry, and I'm ready to rock and roll. One of the first things I like to do is find the wishbone. The wishbone's located right here. I made a small incision ahead of time so you can see. There's the bone right there, right above my finger, and it runs down both sides of the breast. So you want to make sure you get this out. It doesn't always come out whole. A lot of times it will split in half, and that's okay. I mean, unless you're planning on making a wish and you're that set on that process, then it's not that big of a deal. But you definitely want to make sure you get this whole thing out because it's a very small bone, and you can cut yourself with it. So as you can see, this one's already broke. I'm going to bend it, break it out. I set all these aside. Everything gets used here. I'll take all the bones and I'll throw them into when I'm making the stock. So I'll come over on the other side here and show you. There it is located. Sometimes you can just get your finger in there. This one's a little slippy. Oh, got it. Break it out. There's that middle piece there. These are sharp. In fact, these were used as toothpicks before we started buying toothpicks in the store. That's how they clean their teeth after eating the chicken. So wipe your hands down now that that's out of the way. And we are ready to get started. Have a nice sharp knife ready to go. Have everything staged ahead of time so you're not moving all around your kitchen. I flip my bird over first and I start up here with the wings. Don't be afraid to make a mistake. This is your bird. You're not putting this in a restaurant or anything, so it's okay if you accidentally overcut a little bit. But you'll find that there's fat lines in all animals, and those fat lines go in between the joints. Once you find those fat lines, if you follow them with your knife, you can pretty much get a good clean cut. the extra skin here is where I like to start. So I'll make a nice small incision here on this side. And then you want to get a little aggressive with this. You can see that the arm articulates like so. You want to pop it back out in this direction here like this. Once you've popped it out of the joint, it makes it a lot easier to get in there with your knife. Popped. Nice incision through. And if you have a nice knife that's sharp, you can just kind of follow this around. And there's one. There's one wing. Flip this thing around, do the other side. Same deal. Nice little incision. You want to make that incision first because it's difficult to get the arm to articulate and pop without that. So articulate, pop, there it is. Follow it around. Oh, see, I got a little piece right there. Just missed it. Here's the other one. Wings are out. I'm now going to start over here on the hind quarter. So loosen these things up before you get going, especially if you bought a bird and you had to freeze it, or it's been in your refrigerator. Obviously things are going to be a little tight, so dance this thing around a little bit. Move its joints back and forth. I don't know if you heard that, but I already heard it kind of pop out of place. Skin. Another incision. Right here, you can see these lumps. You'll feel them once you have the bird. These are called the oysters of the chicken. These are a very tender piece of chicken, and oftentimes in restaurants, they will be cut out and served as a delicate little meal themselves. I like to try to separate them out without having any issues. So what you do is feel where that is, and it's a socket. You'll see later on in the video. It is a little socket that they sit in. So if you get a small incision in the top of it, right there, just poke it. You can get your finger down in that socket and run it down along there, which helps just pry all the meat away from the socket without tearing it. So I'll do both sides right here, right now. Pull this back. Feel where it's at. Little small incision. And there. Now both the oysters are out and loose. Flip the bird over. Continue with the loose skin. And here you can see fat lines in it. Manipulate that joint. Here it is, right here. Just gonna follow this around. Cut this skin a little bit more right here. Now you can see that socket that I was talking about. It's almost just like your finger. That incision that I made was top side right here. Just kind of poked it right in just enough to get a little slit so that I could slide my finger down in and ride it just like that. Now that it's out, you're letting your knife do the work now. I'm not really applying any pressure here at all to the knife. I'm just slowly pulling it across, following that fat line down. Loosen it up a little bit. Come around top side here. If you plan on making any stocks or anything, it is okay to have some meat left on this carcass. Again, no judges coming through at the end of this, scoring you, telling you how much you did wrong. So there you go. That's a quarter. So let's get the other quarter out, and then I'll show you how to break down the quarter. So here, pulling the skin away, popping it, pulling this back. I did it this way so that I could show you both sides of it. One from the underside, one from above. Set this aside for now. You can see how easily that pops out of place then. There's your bone. It's gonna ride that thing right down. It's over. There you go. Second quarter. Set this carcass aside for a second, and I'll show you some ways to separate this out into a thigh and a drum. This right here is the fat line that I was telling you about. That separates the two spots, and that's where that joint's at. So you can take your knife right down that fat line. And you'll land right on the bone. Move it around a little bit so you can see it. Get here. Trying to make sure you can see all the different angles of that. There it is. Struggle bust with that one a little bit, but here we go. There you go. There's your thigh. There's your drum. Put them in my bin. Do the next one. Cut this back a little bit. You can feel it before you cut it if you'd like. Yeah, that's what that's supposed to look like. Usually I don't have a video running when I'm doing all this, so that first one was a little hairy because I'm new to this whole videoing process. I'll buy 3 to 4 of these at a time, birds, and process them down. And then I vac seal them into the preferred cuts that I want to have for the family. All right, there we go. So that's all done. Now what's left is the breast. If you want, some people will skin all of this out, take all the skin off and have clean fresh meat without the skin. I love the skin. I think it's delicious. I think if my kids had it their way, they'd probably arm wrestle over it. So right down the ridge here, you can feel the breastplate. It stands out pretty well. Put your knife on it and then just run it straight down. Your knife's going to choose a left or right on which side that's going to fall. After you make that first incision, go through and feel. You can see right there, right where my thumb's at. That's the bone. So I landed on the left side. So knowing that now, I'm going to curve my knife slightly towards it as I make my cut the rest of the way down. Just try to get the most meat I can off this. In this area here, there's going to be a few small, soft bones. So those bones are going to be flexible, almost like your ribs, except these are a lot softer, a lot smaller. You're not always going to clean this thing off of those. Sometimes you'll have to cut them off after. Sometimes I get them, sometimes I don't, but either way, we go in afterwards and we get them out. So here we go. Don't press straight down on the bone, but if you kind of press at an angle towards it and you pull in this sort of direction, you can see that it just slides right through. There we are, one out. There's one breast. Flip her over, and you can see this section here, that's actually your tenderloin. Separates out pretty easily. One tendy, one breast, onto the next one. Same deal, holding this side of the carcass now. I know that I'm going to be going left into the breast, so I'll angle slightly towards that bone and then just let my knife ride it down through. I'm right-handed, so I like to flip this and manipulate it with my left. This right here, you can see that white. That's one of those bones I was telling you about. So for this one here, I'm just going to come up through around it to avoid it since I see it there already. There we go. We're out. There's our tenderloin. Again, nice, easy, out. Two tendies, two breasts, two thighs, two drums, and two wings. Carcass and any other cutoffs and stuff will be used to make stock. I'll also throw my gizzards in there. So I'm gonna take a break, wash my hands, and then when I come back, I'm gonna vac seal this stuff up. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back, guys. I wanted to get this going so that we could see it. I vac seal a lot of things here. So what we're gonna do is separate everything out. It's a good idea to go ahead and mark and label everything before you start messing with the bird so that you don't make a mess. What I like to do is maybe kind of like open this up a little bit so that I can just slide everything right into them. You can mark them however you like. I separate everything out in two drums in sets. When I do multiple birds at a time, when I do 2 to 3, I'll have obviously the quantity is a lot higher. The wings, I'll just toss all of the wings in a bag as I collect them, and then once I have enough, it's wing day for us. I would also package up the carcass, but since I'm going to be making stock here later on, I'm not going to bother wasting a bag. You can season at this time. You season and then vac seal. It helps seal all that flavor in. It could sit in your freezer or in your fridge until you're ready to use it, and that makes it really tasty. But for here, I'm just gonna salt and pepper these. As I look over there and see, I don't have the tenderloins down. So what we're gonna do is we'll put them here in the drums. 2 tendies. There we go. All right, now we're ready to go. I have my vac sealer on the side here, my food saver. Get her opened up. Again, try to have everything staged and ready to go before you start handling the chicken, so you're not making a mess everywhere. Still got my paper towels over here in case I need to clean everything off. So put my 2 breasts in. Getting juices on this area, I found that it just makes it a little more difficult to get a good seal. So I like to just wipe the rim of the bag.
Over the vac sealer.
There you go. All these will go into the freezer. Now that everything's done, I'm gonna get cleaned up. For me, I like to spray everything down with a diluted rubbing alcohol. Mainly it's rubbing alcohol with a little bit of water. I spray everything down with that, let it sit for a little bit, and then I go back with a white vinegar with a lemon essential oil mixture that I have here. Spray everything down, wipe it all down, clean it, sanitize it, and then get ready to go for whatever I'm doing next. So hope everyone enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Hey, how's it going, everyone? I hope everyone enjoyed the video that you just saw on how to fabricate a chicken, start to finish, all the way down through packaging. I'm the type that's pretty new to all this stuff. I don't really make videos and share my life to people. So bear with me as I work through all the fumbles and everything. But I do appreciate the support from everyone, family and friends, and everyone else out there who's watching. If you do like it, I hope you hit the thumbs up button. I hope you share it among people, and I hope you subscribe. I plan on putting out as much content as I possibly can. Everything from how to do certain things in the kitchen, how I take care of my chickens and my goats, how I maintain my homestead, anything from all of that to bushcrafting skills. So stay tuned for more, and thanks again.